Thank you, this is better. Again, warm welcome here this afternoon in the Fashion and Beauty, which is Sustainable Lifestyle track number 3 we call it. And today we have a moderator with an interesting last name, right? Chris Oestereich, but Chris is from the USA. You're from the USA. Okay, and Chris is the moderator, and Chris will then also moderate this session and introduce the 3 panelists, and he will also guide you in, let's say, asking questions. We will monitor a bit of the time after this session for all to know. We have the coffee and tea break, and this session will take an hour and 10 minutes, including some Q&A. So we have ample time to go through all these amazing stories. Chris, the floor is yours, and panelists.
Thank you
very much.
Is this on? Okay. So we're going to try to get going as quickly as possible here. I'm going to keep the introductions very short. The presenters will each give their own introduction on themselves, and they each have a short presentation. So my name is Chris Oestereich. I teach at Thammasat University at the School of Global Studies, and I've been working with UNDP and the World Bank on circular economy projects. Our panel today has Petch from ReReef. We have Jane from Renim, and we have Pierre-Alexandre from Yves Rocher. So if we could just go jump right in. Our first, that's me, that's Dr. Petch, and here's our first presentation.
Sure. So actually I'm a marine scientist by training. So we, about 3.5 years ago, we have been advocating for the importance of saving the reef, and one of the most kind of obvious one is the impact of sunscreen to the reef. So we want to kind of build business case for sustainability, and we started this company about 3.5 years ago. So we are very small, so honored to share the stage with the company like Yves Rocher and other. I try to back. Okay. Okay. So, and the first thing when we started, actually we doing a lot of communication, and I think about 3.5 years ago, I think the importance of the issue of marine plastic has started to emerge, and I think we are probably one of the first to start really campaign on the ban on the single-use plastic, and how we can really replace some of the alternative. So at the same time that we developed the first reef safe sunscreen for Thailand, we also start to building consumer awareness and how to really empower consumer to make a change. We try to develop the product locally to make sure that the price is our product is competitive to conventional product, because I think we also aiming to really to scale up and make sure that the better choice doesn't mean more expensive. So we want to make it more accessible to local people as well. We also trying to facilitate the campaign as well, in terms of like we starting with the plastic straw, the most simple one, but also we start to build a network of businesses that want to change their practices as well. So we form the network of ocean-friendly cafe and restaurants, so the people who want to start to do something different, and we want to provide a practical solution for business partners. So this kind of our flagship product, so you can see that the Reef Safe sunscreen is probably one of the first one. We use it as an entry point as well to work with the hotel and also the dive center, the tour operator, that it is something people can change. Coral reef is, for us, is like represent all the problem that world environmental facing today, from global climate change to marine plastic, to also the issue of chemical output to the marine environment. And then the second one is all these alternative products that are going to replace single-use plastic. We also promoting green economy, trying to select the natural material that can be harvested sustainably. For example, like bamboo So we're promoting this bamboo toothbrush and also other products that can be developed by bamboo. The upcycling product is another line of our product as well, trying to substitute the normal product with the upcycling. For example, the sock that made from the discard fishing gear, for example, is another one. This just to show that when we first building this kind of Facebook page, so it has been very well received. So we developed something trying to communicate easy message. For example, this single-use plastic, 8 types of single-use plastic that people should stop using it right now. It has really well received, more than access almost 3 million people. And then we start to really kind of build the fan base of our brand and trying to empower them that they can change their behavior by using a better choice in their daily everyday life. Also, we have a website that trying to also update on the world environmental problem as well. So that's kind of in a nutshell of what we do.
Thank you, Kun Petch. This button. Yes. Okay. So good afternoon. Let me introduce myself. I'm Pierre-Alexandre Chenel. As you may notice at my accent, I'm French. Sorry for that. I'm very honored to be with you today to represent my company, Yves Rocher. I have a very, very beautiful stories to tell you, but before starting the introduction about my company, I would like to share with you a short video. Noise?
หน้าเราจะสวยในแบบที่เราจะเป็นสีปากของเราต้องติดแน่นแป้งที่ใช้ต้องไม่ทำให้เรา
Sorry for the technical problem.
เวลาที่เราใช้ครีมเราก็มักจะคิดว่าครีมนี้ช่วยให้ผิวของเราขาวขึ้นแค่ไหน SPF ต้องเยอะจะได้ปกป้องไม่ให้เราดำยิ่งทำมาจากธรรมชาติยิ่งดีและมันจะต้องไม่มีสารตกค้างที่หน้าของเราทุกครั้งที่เราแต่งเราต่างก็หลับตาเห็นถึงหน้าเราจะสวยในแบบที่เราจะเป็นสีปากของเราต้องติดแน่นแป้งที่ใช้ต้องไม่ทำให้เราหน้ามันแชมพูครีมนวดฟองจะต้องเยอะล้างออกง่ายผมของเราต้องสะอาดหอมเงางามนุ่มสลวยไม่เป็นรังแคทุกวันนี้โลกเราเสียสละให้พวกเราสวย เสียสละป่าเสียสละอากาศดีๆเสียสละน้ำใสๆเสียสละชีวิตเป็นเรื่องยากมากๆที่ผู้หญิงเราจะไม่นึกถึงความสวยและไม่ผิดเลยที่เราจะสวยแต่ถ้าเราสวยแล้วเราทำให้สัตว์ยังสวยงามได้ไหมทำให้ต้นไม้น้ำทะเลสวยเหมือนที่เราสวยได้ไหมสวยโลกไม่เสีย Yves Rocher
So you see this video is a bit provocative, but it means that cosmetic beauty industry can help to preserve the biodiversity in the environment, and women can still be beautiful, respecting the environment. Yves Rocher is a very, very famous French brand. Maybe some of you knows it, but here in Asia we are still a small company. So let me very quickly give you what are the main characteristics of this family. All started with one man, Mr. Yves Rocher. Mr. Yves Rocher founded the company in 1959 in a very, very small village in the middle of Brittany. It was a poor village. It was at the time a lot of people were leaving up country to go to work in big cities. And he had a vision for his land. He had a vision for his family, for his people. And he started very early, because he lost his father and became the breadwinner of the family, to believe that nature is the future of mankind. He wanted to give back to nature what the nature gives us every day. So he started to build up a company, decided to implement this cosmetic company in his village, Legacy. And he built up this company based on the beliefs that the cosmetic product must be issued from natural ingredients. That's why he created, 50 years before it started to become a trend, the botanical beauty care. I will tell you a bit later about what does it mean, but it means that the beauty, the nature can provide strong active ingredients to support the beauty of women, of people. And he did it in Legacy, his home village in the middle of Brittany, and built up a real ecosystem that helped to sustain the economic development, keep the people in the village without harming the environment. And I will tell you a bit later about Legacy, because this is a perfect example of what we want to implement in all the countries we are. Last but not least, we decided a couple of years ago to act a bit even stronger in our in the strategy of supporting the sustainability by planting trees. Planting trees. We had a dream to achieve 100 million dreams when we started. It was 10 years ago, and we achieved it. This year we have planted 100 million trees. We will keep on planting trees because Yves Rocher was a man from the land, and he knows how it is important it's a strong symbol to plant a tree. So this is what defines the company. We think one of our mission is to reconnect people to the nature, to reconnect people through nature. And I must say, I feel extremely lucky, because what we are all talking about today the founder of my company understood it 60 years ago, and he started to build up his company by respecting the nature, respecting people, with a long vision for his company. Thank you.
Hello everyone, my name is Prangchai, Sorin, or you can call me Jane. I am a co-founder and marketing communication director of Renim project. I believe that most of you might have heard about Renim project before. So, we are a sustainable fashion denim brand. How sustainable? We create product from waste of the fashion industry. Up to 80% of the product created by vintage denim, and the rest is from vintage clothing and material. And yeah, because why denim? Some of you might say why denim? Because my partner and I have passion on jeans. We love jeans. We wear jeans every day, except today. But yeah, but we didn't want to be any part of the creation of the water pollution. So we decided to back like 3 years ago, we decided to create a brand. But we don't want to create any trash to our planet anymore. So we upcycle product, not to create a new one, with a circular process. And here's some picture you can see here. This is a picture from Greenpeace and CNN. You can see the environment and the river running blue in China, and also in the third world country. And did you know, I think most of you know that fashion industry is the second largest polluter of the environmental impact after agriculture. And did you know that one pair of jeans, only a pair of jeans that has to produce, it takes up to 10,000 liters of water, or around 2,600 gallons of water. This number is very big, but it's also including the cotton growing, bleaching, machine washing, and manufacturing process as well. But it's still a big number. And did you see the number there? It's 1.2 billion pairs of jeans that has to be produced every year just to travel and to sell to all of us. Why do we need that for? And also the number that I said before, if we compare to the drinking water, it's equals to your drinking water for the next 5.5 years. It's crazy. So apart from we trying to reduce the waste from the fashion industry, we also create a job, or we trying to support the community in the small village in the province. We let them make a kind of like handcraft or anything like craftsmanship to put into our product. So we create that job, we increase their earn in the household, and also you can see from the picture down on the right hand side, during the pandemic, the COVID-19, we have plenty of time, so many time to take more serious on waste management in our factory. So we create a new product line, which is a household product, or I can say home product, which is the things that we use in our house, which is coaster for your dining room and placemat, you know. So and on the right hand side up there, the picture, this is the activity that we have participate every year with the Fashion Revolution. Fashion Revolution is the non-profit organization that they have connection worldwide over the world, more than 100 countries, that they speak for fashion world, but in sustainability, and they try to speak out for the story about that behind the fashion industry. And this is a rough information about Renim project. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, so I have a number of questions, and I could fill up all the time, but I'm sure there will be questions from the audience. We only have 2 mics, so we'll try to go a little bit back and forth here. We'll start, I'm going to ask some of the general questions I have, and then we'll see who has questions from the floor. So to start out, I'd just like to ask our panelists, where'd I go? What are your organization's current priorities in terms of sustainability? What is it you're trying to achieve or avoid, or who would like to start on that one?
For Renim project, I think the first thing that we do our best is zero waste. We try to use the whole life cycle of every material, which is it's trash from everyone. We work every day with old clothes, so we trying to if we say about resource depletion, it's very big problem. So the best thing that we can do is to to do the waste management into our factory.
I'll just add, as a circular economy advocate who's starting a social enterprise, one of the things that I'm trying to work on, there's a company that 80% of the plastic they bring into their factory goes to a landfill. So I'm trying to do something with that. There are amazing opportunities out there. There's so much material out there that's wasted in ways like that. So would either of you?
I think we are all pursuing the same goals. I would say that in my company we have let's say two major priorities. The first one is that we're trying to reduce, to minimize the impact of our business on the environment, and we have many actions that go through the Zero Waste initiative to managing to be as quick as possible neutral carbon. The second one, I think this is about education. This is about to tell the consumers that we need all collectively to change. So we are also highlighting some initiative through different project rewards, such as Terre de Femme or the project of Plant a Tree, that makes the visible the need for a change. But on the top of that, I think if we want to be credible, we need to be also consistent in our approach. So one of the big priority of my company within the coming 5 years is to get certification. We have already the mission-driven status from the French government that force us to respect higher guidelines in terms of social environmental rules, but we plan to become a B Corp by 2025, showing that we are consistent in anything we are doing.
So I think two of our priority right now is the first one is internal. So I mean all the material we're trying to do the locally sources already, but we still have the big challenge in terms of packaging, because of sunscreen. We still have to use the tube. I mean, we have explored a number of options, aluminum top, and also we even developed the new Inlight, also the sunscreen stick that we can use with the paper tube instead of the plastic tube. But we launched the ReReef sunscreen one at the currently because we want to make sure to test the market as well. So the second priority is kind of external facing, because we also now trying to advocate for marine sustainable tourism. We heard so much about the post-COVID has to be sustainability, focusing on sustainability, and also in terms of tourism. I think sustainable tourism has been talking a lot in terms of new normal, but we also question what are the concrete steps in terms of new normal for marine tourism? And to us is that all the hotel or the tour operator can still change a lot in terms of all the ingredients that they're using in terms of the cleaning detergent, in terms of sunscreen, So our entry point is of course the sunscreen, especially all the hospitality sector along the coast. We benefit so much from the coral tourism. Thailand, there's a study about a couple of years ago now that I think Thailand ranked top 5 in the world in terms of the country that benefit economically from reef-related tourism. I think around $80 billion a year, generated from reef-related tourism. But then again, we currently the condition of the reef is very worrying, because it's only about 6% remain in good condition. So there's so much to do in terms of linking the consumer awareness about what they use daily that has an impact on the environment. And to us, coral reef, it really represents the thing that, you know, they cannot move. What you use will flush away in terms of the waterway and ended up in the ocean. So we have to really kind of change at scale in terms of reducing the impact. So we hope to really use this marine sustainable tourism to link with the consumer about what they do every day that impact the ocean.
So next up, I'd like to ask, what kind of projects are you working on? Basically what I'm looking for is, I mean, share whatever you'd like about those projects, but if there are any specific challenges that you're trying to overcome that you'd like to share with the audience, maybe we can find a connection that can help you.
So I have the mic. We also now trying to start to form the network, you know, of the people who want to change their business. Like for example, when we start this plastic straw-free campaign, so we link with the cafe and restaurant, and we have now over 50 cafe and restaurant that in our network. And to us, I mean, each cafe and restaurant actually is a community on its own. They have the customer, they have the regular people, people that come to their shop regularly. And to us, that really kind of, you know, help echoing the message about, you know, what they do every day that impacting the environment. So we're trying to also reaching out to now, because of the marine tourism thing that we want to advocate. So we trying to reach out to the community of divers around the country as well. You know, trying to organize the activity that they can take part of, the ocean cleanup, beach cleanup, and that's why we have the fourth line of our product is upcycling, because once we collect those already, we want to turn it into something that substitute the new material. So we started with the soft, but also the new product is that we trying to do is also the sunwear that made from recycling material. So that kind of the thing that we want to do and also expand our kind of, you know, alliance.
I would love to see storytelling from those divers about, you know, the difference where we're cleaning things up and making things better. I think that's the kind of thing that could really resonate with the community. So please go ahead.
One of the big projects we have started to launch a couple of years ago is about the product, the packaging, the formula of the product, because the first contact we have with our consumers is a product. So now we are in a big transformation plan regarding the packaging. We are working hard to release in the coming months an eco-packaging version of our product. Of course, it's about reducing the plastic, reducing the weight of the packaging, and we are facing strong technical issues, but we are looking to reduce the pack by 30% within the next couple of years. Let me give you an example of what we did, because it was also a big challenge from the business point of view. In 2017, we launched what we call an eco shower gel. This is a concentrated shower gel that, with a strong formula, that allows us to reduce by 30 to 50% the percentage of plastic in the pack. It was a big challenge because the consumers have some difficulties to understand how in a small package we can put as much as product as in a big package. But it paid off, and we managed to convince the customers that quantity is not quality. And now it's entering into the habit of the consumers to purchase concentrated shower gel and shower shampoo for their daily use. Thanks to that, we managed to save up to 50 tons of plastic since the launch of this gum on this specific So we are fighting to reduce our environmental footprints by now reducing the package, and also at the same time we are working to remove all the chemical ingredients in our formula, which means that nowadays 93% of the ingredients of our formula are from natural origin. The remaining part is just to ensure the safety and the good conservation of the product. So it's a long way. It's very difficult because some ingredients are tough to remove, But every day we are progressing. Last year we removed 18% of chemical ingredients from our list of ingredients to produce products.
For Renim project, actually this project that I'm gonna tell you, it's been a year already because we start from the October last year. It's kind of like our opportunity that we have to collaboration. We have an opportunity to collaboration project with between Renim project with SCG, the cement brand of Thailand. We have our same aim together. We want to reduce waste within our factory and them as well. So we bring the cement bag, which is it's new cement bag, but they have changed the package. So they have to. So it's turned to be a dead stock of the cement bag. So we bring that cement bag into redesign into our product. So we have an exclusive series of bags that create from cement bag, which is it's been over more than 2,000 cement bags that we have already reduced. It's quite small number for you guys, but it's very big number for a small brand of us. Yes, and we are still working on it.
Thank you for sharing. Along those lines, when you're starting new projects, when you're creating new projects, sustainable products, do you typically work in-house? Do you work with partners? How do you go about that? I'd love for you to share so that the audience can learn from what you do.
Okay. I go first. First, one of the specificity of our business model is that we are integrating most of the chain of value in the production of the product, because actually we are used to say that we are managing the product from the field to the skin. Most of the processes of production, except for the sourcing of ingredients, where we have local partners, is under our control, which means that we are able to ensure that every step that is needed to produce the good respect guidelines in terms of social and environmental quality. Now, if you ask about sourcing, of course, we are extremely clear on the quality of our partners. The idea is mostly to be extremely demanding through charts and engage ourselves into a process where we are supporting our local partners. Let me give you the example of Madagascar, where we are harvesting the plant of Acloya that is used for the production of some of our product. We have a 10 years partnership with local network of farmers. And we are not only working with them, but we are working with them by helping them to develop a long-term sustainable business model, providing guidance, resources to valorize their environment on a long-term point of view. So it's both in-house and with our external partners.
Yes, I mean, we do work with partners all the time because, again, because we want to be kind of, providing solution to the business, but we don't want to kind of, reinventing the wheel for the people that already have their product. We also trying to make that accessible to our partner. So right now we work quite a lot with the hotel, and then we want them to start changing a lot of amenity that they use in the hotel. One of the example is that also we develop like this shampoo bar and the soap bar, and we work with the farmer rice farming community in the Northeast that we already know them, so they already start testing and developing. So we also help creating the market for them as well. We also, in terms of formula of our product, for example, the ReReef sunscreen and also the herbal insecticide. So we work with local researcher trying to develop and use the Thai herb ingredient and what kind what available and what sort of come out best. So we work with the researcher as well. So making sure that because some of the research in the local university developed, but they don't have the chance to market it. So I think this is the thing that we're trying to test the product as well with the partner. So, but some of the things we also we don't produce by ourselves. Like for example, the V-wax that replaced the plastic wrap. We also working with other producer that already have this product. Another thing is, I think big thing for us is reducing chemical use in the hospitality sector. And I think in terms of cleaning detergent, for example, you know, now you can use with the natural product. So we also connect with the pineapple farmer in Chiang Rai, that they already, you know, start doing quite a series of cleaning detergent and also body wash that chemical free as well.
There are a lot of interesting opportunities in the university labs here. I've met with some of them, and there's a lot of things that they've developed. They developed the research, but then it never went beyond that because they didn't have a funding or a partner. So there's lots of possibilities out there.
Actually, we have both in-house and the village that we let's call the local artisans, that we let them share their knowledge about the craftsmanship or handicraft, that it's kind of like co-creation product that we work together.
Thank you. I have a lot of other questions, but in the interest of time, I want to see if we have questions on the floor, because I don't want to run out of time on that. Does anyone have a question they'd like to ask?
Hello, thank you for, I think it's a very good insight in what we are doing. The title is Sustainable Lifestyle. So I've actually two questions. So one is, what are you doing to change the lifestyle, in contrast to actually producing a product, but actually changing the lifestyle? And then the second question would be, in your opinion, does this lifestyle have to be more expensive than, let's say, normal life or non-sustainable lifestyle?
For Renim project in fashion angle, I think it has to start from mindset. It's very hard it's kind of like a boomerang that we have to change, but not only from the producer of the brand, which is we are a very slow fashion brand, and there are plenty of fast fashion brands as well. But it's not only about us, but it's about the consumer as well. If we are still buying product from fast fashion, so they're gonna produce more and more of stock that to serve all of us. So from Renim project, we do handcraft. We take more time on piece of product. So the price is not low, but there is very niche market and exclusive market. But there will be a group of people that they understand that they want to own a one-of-a-kind product.
From sustainable means that actually we are producing without over-consuming the resources of the planet, which means that consumption is not a vice, if it's done properly and responsibly. The first mission that we want to achieve by 2025 is to, as I said, minimize the impact of consumption on the world, which means that not putting in danger some species of plants that are near the extinction, not degrading, damaging the environment where we are harvesting these plants. So from the consumer perspective, it's quite invisible because it's the way we produce things. So from my point of view, the first thing is to be sustainable is to, as His Excellency of the Ambassador of Netherlands was saying, is to manage to reduce the moment of the year where we start eating the resource of the planet. So first thing is sustainable is how do we produce without using resources that will disappear. The second aspect is about education. Are the consumers able to change some of their habits? And I think that companies have the duty to influence, to educate the consumers to purchase the right product. And it's not about making advertising. It's not about make them the consumer guilty about the way they consume. It's about helping the awareness of the situation and help consumers to choose what are the best product for their skins and for the planet.
Yes, I think to me, I mean, sustainable lifestyle shouldn't be shouldn't have to be too more expensive, you know. And I think that is one of the things that we trying to do quite a lot with our communication scheme. I mean, first you empower, you know, the consumer about the awareness that you can actually change a lot of things without increasing too much of the cost. But for some of other things, I think you need also the policy that have to support, you know, this kind of, you know, more sustainable product as well. And I think that's one of the things that maybe ReReef does a little bit more than company, because we also trying to advocate for better policy as well, because some of the things should be defaults, but not as an option, you know. Now, like, okay, you can go greener, but at your own cost. But a lot of things that I think if with the right policy, you can actually accelerate the change in terms of for the mass consumption. So when we start talking about like single-use plastic, and I think the government really kind of listen to the public. When you have enough, you know, public noise, I think they start to follow and trying to change the policy as well. So we welcome the roadmap that they're going to use kind of 7 kind of single-use plastic. But also we trying to advocate for better infrastructure as well, like for simple things like plastic bottle. So we encourage people to change their behavior from throwaway culture to bring your own stuff. But for example, in Bangkok, to have your own bottle, but you run out of water very quickly, you know, by midday, but you don't have the refill station, for example. So we there's another project that we're trying to do with partner to map like water refill station as well, and trying to make it accessible to consumer. So where you are and where you can fill up the water. And I think with that way, I think there's a big initiative in London, the water refill station, that they also open the opportunity to business to apply to become a water refill station. And we really want to build that with the cafe and restaurant that, you know, that offer this kind of service. Then you make sustainable lifestyle much easier, you know. I mean, honestly, like to be green is a lot harder this day, you know. You have to pay more, you have to bring everything, you know. My bag is very heavy. You have to have one bottle, you have to have another one tumbler for the coffee as well. So like, and inside you have to have spoon and fork and chopstick, because if you go to the restaurant now, you know, like some restaurant use all the single-use plastic, even the chopstick you wrap in the plastic. So if you don't want to use that, you have to bring your own, right? So you have to communicate, empower, but at the same time trying to make consumer aware that actually they can demand for better policy as well. So that's what we're trying to do with our communication.
Thank you.
I'll just add a couple of really quick thoughts on this. From my perspective, when I'm looking at the fashion industry, there are things like Patagonia where they said, don't buy this jacket. At the holiday time, when you're trying to get everyone, that's the big season, their ad was, don't buy this jacket, you don't need this jacket. If you do, sure, come buy our jacket, but if you don't need a jacket, don't buy it. I think that kind of messaging is really interesting. I think it's something that others can follow on. And I think if you're doing things where you're saying, look, we're being very sustainable, we're using the right materials, we're making our products durable, we're making them repairable, then you can actually win business while others who aren't doing that are going to be losing it. But the other thing that I think as a consumer, I have shorts that have like 12 seams that have been repaired. You know, I go to seamstress once every 2 or 3 months, and I get a couple of pair of shorts and a couple of pair of jeans repaired. And I wear it as a badge of honor that I've got, you know, a couple of rips in these jeans, and it's like, yeah, this is okay. This is where we're going. You know, the fact that that's been repaired, to me, it's a badge of honor. So I think the brands can message that and say, look, keep wearing our stuff, repair our stuff, keep it in use for a long time. You're not going to sell as much, but no one's going to sell as much going forward. So how much do you want of the pie that shrinks is the way I would look at it. So any other questions from the floor? I've got plenty more. How are we doing on time, Armel? Are we okay? Okay. So, but let's talk about our current circumstances with the pandemic. How has that affected your sustainability efforts? Thank you. Can I go first?
Not much, because actually it's even the contrary. It was a big shock for everyone, and it was also confirming that we are going into a world that will be even more and more complicated for the people, for the climate, for the companies. So we are even more convinced that we need to move fast on that part. Before the COVID, we had the target to achieve the B Corp certification by 2030. After the COVID, we moved to the target of 2025. So we are sure that companies that are not taking the lead after this big event will be the most to suffer in the future.
Either of you like to respond?
I think for my angle, there is 2 points. From the first one, external. External, I think people nowadays with the pandemic COVID-19 and since start of the year from flooding and bushfire, and polar ice melting, everything, it raised awareness of people, human. We can see on the street now there are plenty of the brand that they produce eco-friendly product or organic product or even plant-based sneakers. So I think it helps everyone to change their mindset to take more serious on whatever you consume. And from the inside, from internal, I think it affects in terms of, for us, we have plenty of time to take a break and rethink about what we can do more for the next pandemic or the next anything that would be happen in the next.
I think in terms of sustainability, maybe not so much, but in terms of business, we got really big hit because our major partner is a hotel and tourism industry. So I think it's been very quiet, during the pandemic, and understandably because everybody struggle, and also to trying to make them to change in terms of greener product. It's still currently it still mean higher cost. So we're trying to partner, but last week, so there's a Thailand Dive Expo. So we have the booth that we collaborate with the hotel partner. Actually, it's one of the eco resort in Myanmar island that they bought a lot of our product. So every tourist that come to their resort will receive kind of a travel set. The ReReef sunscreen, the non-plastic product. So we really try to expand that, but I think currently all the hotels are struggle to fill the room. So this has been really a challenging time. But again, I think in terms of tourism sector, they have to change the model as well, especially in Thailand, where a lot of places depend heavily on foreign tourists. And now, you're looking at Phuket or Krabi or Samui, they really, it's much bigger impact than tsunami that hit them, So I think they're now talking about the new model, how they can reduce the impact, or maybe reduce the number of visitors, but still creating maybe equally or at least similar revenue. And I think that's the big challenge. But also we have been in discussion with TAT, Tourism Authority of Thailand as well. And I think the post-COVID tourism strategy is really emphasize more on sustainability and also environmental protection. So hopefully this will set the new trend and prove that in the long run it's not going to increase the cost, but actually reaching out to more maybe a better market, also niche market as well. Like they can sell things more expensive.
Do any of you have any changes that you're making to your strategy going forward, given the circumstances we're in now and how things are evolving?
I'm coming from the retail industry, and now the retail industry is suffering not as much as tourism, but we see that unfortunately the traffic in shopping mall is decreasing by 40%. So it's very difficult for us in terms of business model. We pay fixed cost and we have less customer into our mall. That means that we have to rediscuss what is the business model in retail. I strongly believe that the technology and the people needs to connect to each other is going to change the way we are selling product. And during the COVID crisis, we saw that actually what was missing the most to people that were confined, they were their ability to interact. So that's why I believe that the future of our business is not only on selling products in retail, but also finding ways to connect people and to use our customers as brand advocates. So we are working on a business model here in Thailand based on a mechanism of social selling that will allow every customer to become a brand advocate, because the value we defend, the product we sell are, we believe, strongly impacting the product we sell are actually in the trend of this sustainable development, and we believe our customers, the more they will get educated, the more they will promote our product. So this is a big change for us. Last year we purchased at the Group Rocher a company named Arbonne in the US, that is one of the leaders in the US in cosmetic, in natural cosmetic, and we see this model is working pretty well. So it's a big change for us, but we are working on it.
I think we also have to go back to kind of at the beginning, because at the beginning we communicate directly with consumer. So as I mentioned, we have quite a strong fan base at least in Thailand. So when we start to have quite a lot of business, so we also becoming like more dependent on the big hotel, for the order. So I think after COVID, we start to do kind of more direct communication with our fan base again. And I think the last week, this Thailand Dive Expo is good, that help really connect us directly with the people who actually likely to care for environment anyway, but emphasize on the message. And I think people aware more about the need to become more sustainable as well. So I think it helps echo our message with the current situation.
Thank you. We have just a little bit of time left. Do I have one or two more questions from the floor before we go to close out? No? Okay. Well, I think given the amount of time we have, I'd just like to give each of you a moment for one last comment, maybe something that you can try to inspire the audience with, try to get them heading further down this path.
Thank you. From my point of view, we are a sustainable fashion brand, so we, the first thing and the easiest thing, I think we all should have to rethink about our mindset that we have to consume. In clothing or fashion angle, we all have to look at your clothes. We don't have to buy more, we buy less, or another choice, you go see secondhand. From the last question, we have some time during the COVID-19, we think with my partner, maybe we come up with the project of the, how can we trying to help everyone. I know everyone have a jeans, a pair of jeans that you never worn for a year, but you didn't throw it away. But we would like to, you guys may send us the pair of jeans, and I can renew, I can recreate, regenerate them into a whole new piece of product. So it's kind of like win-win, we don't throw it away, and I can redesign, and you get the new product. It can be like a bag or, you know, other accessory or even jacket. Yeah, so I think it's the first thing must be start from the mindset, yeah, and our lifestyle. Start from ourselves.
So I think for our motto is that, like, if we can save coral reefs, we can save ourselves. So we really want to link people to understand to the everyday consumption that has an impact to environment. And I think that has been message from the start. And if we realize that, because people can sometimes saturate with, you know, with the news, with the bad news about environment, and they don't really know where to start. And when I start kind of the ReReef, when we have the direct communication with consumer, I think one of the things that we provide is the easy solution, right? That they can change every day, and once they can start acting, it's really, you can see that it sort of empower them. That actually, you know, of all the bad news, but we all can play our part. You know, we can do from everyday consumption that can change to more sustainable option. And I think with the action, you know, we can create a more mass active citizen that, you know, can really help accelerate this trend about, you know, sustainability, and also choosing more sustainable product, and even you know, demand for better policy as well to remove subsidy for the product that now currently not really sustainable, but they can go mass because they can produce at a cheap cost with the subsidy from the policy. So it's a big fight, but I think we all can start with our own, you know, our own choice every day.
I think to fight the climate change and develop a sustainability behavior, it's first of all a proof of courage, because we are all living in a world where things are so easy to get, and tomorrow we need to get out of our comfort zone and accept compromises in order to improve the overall global situation. And I think everyone has to make the change, citizens, companies, government. But I will end with a positive note. I think that even if 10% of the people are making the change among all these stakeholders, the change will start to happen. That's why I'm still very positive, because when I see all of you in this room today, listening all the beautiful stories we have today, concrete actions we are conducting, I think there is hope, but we need to be brave and get out of our comfort zone. Thank you.
So I'll just close with one final thought. I've been working in this field for a very long time. When I started, the problems were big, the awareness was very low, the pressure to make change wasn't there. Over the last few years, I've seen a very big change. The awareness has risen, the demand for change has risen incredibly. Companies that used to ignore me as a consultant are begging for help. You know, it's been a very big change in the last few years, so I think that's a really good signal. What I would suggest to all of you is to think about your business and think about the things that are problematic in your business that you have just accepted as this has to be this way. And go take a step back and rethink those things and think about, okay, we're in a moment now where radical change is possible. And think about how can you continue to deliver the services and products to your customers to give them the things they need in a new way that takes away that problem that you currently have. So that's my final thought for you guys, and if you could please now join me in giving a hand to our panel.
Thank you very much for this interesting panel discussion as well. Thank you, audience. We have, in the meantime, prepared a coffee and tea break for you. We have about 30 minutes, 35 minutes to enjoy coffee, tea, and some mangoes and other fruits. And then 10 to 4, so at 15:50, we're all supposed to go to the next rooms for your next session. So if you can make it 10 to 4 into the room where you want to start the session, which is starting at 4 o'clock, so 15 minutes later than scheduled because we are a little bit delayed. Enjoy your coffee and tea break, and thank you again for joining us. very welcome back. Very good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for joining us for this particular session. We are in the stream called Sustainable Lifestyles, Fashion and Beauty. And for today's session, we have 30 minutes reserved for the Sustainability and Design track for this afternoon. And we have actually a duo speaking concept. And the speakers know each other because they already work together. And I will not introduce in very detail who they are, but I asked them both to introduce themselves to each other, or that one person will, you can introduce her and she will introduce you. So we can find out how good and how well you know each other. So that's the little bit of the new concept. So on my right for you, it's Kun Ingpat, and she is the campaigner of the Environmental Justice Foundation. And over here we have Kun Tos, and he is the co-founder and marketing director of Qualy. And there's a Dutch connection there as well. That always makes me happy. So if I can ask both of our speakers to come over here and start your duo presentation. Ladies and gentlemen, a round of applause, please.
Thank you. สวัสดีครับ First, let me introduce the lady, Kun Ingpat or Kun Yuki. She's a campaigner from EJF. It's a British NGO from England, Environmental Justice Foundation. So they're doing a lot of things about labor, right? The illegal labor, and also the Net Free Seas project that what brought us to meet each other. That we help the fishermen, connect with the fishermen to buy the old fishing nets, and then I take them to make the new products. So that's a short introduction for her.
Okay, so on my left here is Kun Thosaphol, or Kun Thos, as many of you may have already known him. So he's the marketing director of Qualy. So Qualy is a design company which has a mission to promote happiness as well as sustainability. And as a campaigner for Environmental Justice Foundation, Qualy and EJF has begun working on the Net Free Seas project that Kun Thot has already kindly mentioned to help making sustainability integrated into sustainable design, which we will be sharing with you shortly today. So shall we get started?
Yes, so, okay. Okay, so Qualy Design is a brand from my parents. So we did the plastic injection service for about 40 years already until today. Plastic injection molding, plastic injection service, and then the son generation, my brother is a designer, and he starts to design the products, and then I graduated in marketing. So I started to come back and then start making the product. So Qualy Design in general is a lifestyle brand that has been in the market for about 16 years and mostly selling in Europe, in the European market. So, and we also have a distribution center, distribution platform in the Netherlands, selling all over European market. So these days, I mean, it has always been like this, that we always focus on creativity and happiness on the people who use the product. So every time they see the product, they must be happy. And now it's even more important that they have to feel happy to use plastic. This is a key word. Plastic is not so bad, but sometimes people make it like a criminal. So I have to make it like a good man instead. So the next one is sustainability. So we have this in our concept, in the product concept, in the DNA, and now we use a lot of recycled materials, such as, so what we do is we try to make a circular economy. So many of you might have heard of this already, since this is the main topic for today. So instead of having the product that we take from the nature, we use the recycled material and make a new product, and then we upcycling them, make the new products, and then everything is recyclable, which means that you can recycle it again and again and again. So many of the materials that we're working with are, first one, it's the one that we work with Kun Yuki, the recycled fishing nets. That two things: we prevent the fishermen from letting this go into the seas, And then the second one are the one that we did the diving trip to cut the fishing nets from the ocean and then take them up. And now we are under investigation on what we can do about it. So Kunyuki will tell you more about this. And we also use so right now for the fishing nets, we have been using for about almost 4 tons since March, 4 tons until today. And we also use post-consume plastic bottles. So just last week, we just bought more, about 8 tons more. So we have already been using this for over 10 tons. And recycled plastic bag as well with another project. And then the other product, like recycled in the factory ourselves, we can also recycle everything. And the new things that we're going to work with is electronic trash. That, you know, when the company go bankrupt, they can just go buy the computer and everything. So usually they only recycle the green frame, but the outer shell, like the printer, everything that made of plastic, they cannot reuse it. So we're going to use them to make the new products. And then other kind of materials like green materials. So I will give this to Kunyuki.
Okay, so let me tell you a little bit more about the collaboration that we have been doing in Qualy. So it's been going on under the project title Net Free Seas Project. So basically, as the name, we aim to get rid of like fishing nets from the sea. So as Kun Thot already mentioned that actually Environmental Justice Foundation is a charity from the UK, and our main mission is to promote environmental justice, like the name. And in Thailand, and in Asia, we actually focus on a lot of tackling illegal fishing as well as labor issues, but you may wonder how the project actually came about. So we did a lot of investigation trips and fishing ports in Thailand, and a lot of time we see a lot of fishing nets being discarded on the beach, laying in the villages. So we thought, hey, let's just pick them up, do some research, and find out whether we can do something with it. And it turns out that fishing nets that are being left along the beaches are actually made from a very suitable material for recycling. So they're usually made from nylon 6, polypropylene, and polyethylene. So that's why we went around to talk to villages, and we realized that they still need a helping hand to help them deal with these waste that they produce almost monthly. So we came up with the project. So Net Free Sea Project is actually a community-based fishing net recycling project. So basically we go door to door to communities and we help them set up like the system to collect fishing nets. So what EJF do is we connect fishing communities with recycler and collectors like Qualy, so that they can get matched together and communities can start collecting nets and then give it to companies, and then they'll be upcycled into more useful product. So as of now, we started from 4 communities and now we're going on to 40, and we have been working with more than 700 fishers across Thailand. So we are now working with fishers in Jantaburi, Songkhla, Rayong, Nakhon Si Thammarat, and also sometimes we occasionally work with fishermen from Surat Thani, and we are expanding to the Andaman side as well. And we have collected 6 tons of fishing nets so far, starting from the year, and they all have been recycled. So the main goals and the main roles of Net Free Seas in creating sustainability and also fighting plastic pollution, which is like plaguing our ocean, is basically we want to aim to empower local fishing communities who are directly affected by the plastic pollution, especially ghost fishing nets that some are created directly from the action of making their own livelihood. So we want to empower them and make sure that they can become a part of the solution of a problem that is affecting their lifestyle and their livelihood. And also, we want to raise awareness among local public as well as recycling, and also other relevant stakeholders that there's a solution for tackling fishing nets rather than just leaving them on the beaches or selling them cheaply. We want to change like the perception and make sure that it is known that fishing nets can also be recycled into nice new products, just like other material like PET bottles that are being recycled a lot in the markets today. So that's how collaboration from EJF and Qualy came about. So, so yeah, I think the main point and the main strength of our projects and collaboration that we do with key stakeholders, including Qualy, is the fact that we employ circular economy approach. So we do everything in country, from collection to purchase to recycling, and then upcycling them into new products. So everything is being done in country to make sure that that is as less possible carbon footprint being produced. And this is also to ensure that sustainability is being adhered, even though when we are not going to be involved in the future. Also, the project is also designed based on community needs. So every time that we want to collaborate with some community, EJF and Qualy will go down to visit community as well, to talk to them, to see how we can actually work with them to ensure that before we proceed anything, it's being done in a sustainable way that is suitable to community needs. And also, what we're doing is actually a really simple system, and we are actually complementing the existing waste management system that already exists. So there has already been collection of fishing nets, but we just improve it and recycle them into useful products so they can have more values. So this is some photo from our project implementation. So one of the main things that I think it has been discussed today in the forum is that a key to sustainability is that every sector has to collaborate together, right? So these are like some of the examples from our project. So of course we collaborate a lot with communities. So we actually work with them a lot, and they help us collect nets. We help them design collection system and coordinate with them on when to pick up the nets. We, as Kun Thot mentioned, also look into other kind of aspect into tackling with fishing nets pollution as well. So in addition to collecting fishing nets from the sea, we also try to prevent fishing nets from falling into the ocean, but then we also try to retrieve fishing nets from the ocean as well. So far we have done 2 cleanup dives since August in Chumpon and in Rayong, and we have collected over 200 kilograms of ghost nets from the ocean, which is now being under the research and development process to see if we can actually do something with it. So these are some photos from the cleanup dives. The nets are being cut and then sorted before we send it to recycling factory like Qualy to see if there is anything to be done with it. And now I'll hand it over to Kun Thot so he can tell you a little bit more about our collaboration and how we work together to ensure sustainability.
Okay, so it actually started from the fact that I went to the show in Paris and in Maison and Object that organized by Franco Thailand. Give them the credit that. And yes, we showed the first collection that we made of the post-production plastic bottles, and then it was the most popular fair in 10 years, I must say. And I thought, why can't we, do something that we can also, shows people that we clean up the ocean? Because every Farang I meet in the fair, they always say, "Are you from Thailand? I went to Samui, I went to Koh Tao, I went to wherever that I've never been to in Thailand," because I always go to Paris, to Amsterdam. Yes, and then I thought it would be nice if I can claim that I can clean up the beach in Thailand. Yeah, we clean Samui for 5 tons, we clean Samet for 10 tons, something like that. So, that was last September, and then last January I came back and also did another show, and then Kun Yuki contacted us for that, we have this fishing nets free seas project coming up that she's doing, and I jumped onto it and I really, really like it. So, as you may be well aware that 80% of the ocean plastic comes from the land. So if we can stop them before it goes into the ocean, then that would be much easier. So what we do with EJF is that, let me stand, then I don't hurt my neck. Okay, so these are like the discarded fishing nets, and then we collect it. We ask the fishermen to collect it. The pictures that Kun Yuki showed earlier was that the fishermen came with the little truck and sell it and weighed it on the weight checker, and then we pay them cash. So we also give them a warranty on the price that much higher than the market price. So they collect it for us. But now I'm actually looking for more people to use this material because we have a lot to collect, but we have to find somewhere to release it. So we take them, we have to clean them. These are like from the trip, and then my staff go and collect it from the village in Rayong, Chantaburi, and Surat Thani. No, that was Nakhon Si Thammarat, right? The 2 tons was from Nakhon Si Thammarat. And then sort it out, make the new products. This is from during the COVID time that we make different things. The push stick, if you're on Facebook, you might have seen this product before. The button pusher that we use to push the elevator or ATM button, 7-Eleven, yes. And then the other one is made from the recycled PET, recycled bottle. This is the recent launch ocean collection that made of the recycled material. So the first one, that was a plastic bag eater. So you put plastic bag when you want to use, to recycle it, to reuse it. Just put in the button, and then when you want to use it, you just pull it from the mouth. So it's like a symbol that you shows that every time you reuse it, you are helping the well itself to not to eat more plastic bag. And then other things can make from natural rubber plus green ABS. Some are from the fishing nets, RPET, and then recycled plastic bag. So these are the products that we made of. So like this one, so just some samples for you. That we just launched it earlier in September. So this is a plant pot collections that made of the recycled PP, ABS, PS, that people can also make something useful because we thought that, after COVID is gone, Thailand still have PM 2.5. So that's something that we have to think of. So if we can encourage people to grow more trees, grow more plants, then that will help as well. Yes, so those are like the QR code if you want to go shopping or if you want to go follow the page. And yes, and that's for EJF as well. So I have 4 minutes left, which is faster than the given time, but then we have a Q&A session. So if anyone has a question, please feel free to. Yes, Mr. Hans.
We have started something similar collecting the photos from hotels and then could be used, let's say, for recycling, back up. How is it? There's always a money element to it. How to buy and what's the price for, let's say, fishing nets? Is the fishing community getting money for collecting these plastics? What's the incentive to get as much as Roche? How to see it?
Okay, so how it works for the Net Free Seas project is we incentivize fishing communities by paying them. So basically Qualy or other recycling partner will be purchasing them, the fishing nets that they collect. So like Kun Tos already mentioned, the price that we purchase is actually higher than the market price, but it's not a non-profitable price. So what we found out during our research is actually the fact that usually when fishing nets get collected and purchased from communities, they are being purchased by middlemen who then sell it to factory. So what we do is we just deal with factory directly and connect them to fishing communities so that they feel like they are being more incentivized, and at the same time, the businesses that are going to be dealing with fishing net feels like they don't have to pay for extra incentive for community as well, so they can keep on buying the same material price while community get more profit. So that's how we are tackling it now. Yes, so for the next step of our Net Free Sea project, we will be looking into other type of fishing gears. So right now, the majority of the fishing nets that are being recycled are nylon 6, but we will be expanding to polypropylene and polyethylene as well in the future.
And yes, Qualy is already working with recycled plastic bottles, which is PET, and PE, which is a plastic bag. And the bottles from L'Oreal is always welcome. But the thing is, you need to clean them. I think the most expensive process is to clean them and make them ready to use for the new material. Anyone else? Yes. Not too difficult, please.
Now, I know that Qualy, you are the design firm and you also producers. So my question is that if some of our members, because I'm from the Prangchai, if some of our members, they are factories and they have their own waste, and perhaps they can ask you to use this waste to produce some new materials that could be corporate gift or something like that, right? You're working on that?
Yes, thank you for the question. Yes, I don't have enough slides to show, but then, we work with many companies for this as well. Like, for example, the company called Milliken, they have the used PP pallets that they want to throw away. So instead of getting rid of them by paying or do the landfill, they pass that to us, and then we use that material to make the new product for them, including SBF20. You might have known this water heating machine. So they use the outer shell of the SBF20 machine to recycle and then make a new product as a corporate gift to their own customers. And recently we just worked with YKK, the zipper, that they have a lot of leftover, and then we use them to recycle, make new products. So any company is always welcome, especially for plastic parts that we are the expert in this market. Anyone else with the question?
We still have time for a final question. Interesting, right? These kind of concepts. This is helping in so many ways. So thank you both very much for showcasing in only the 25 minutes we have given you the amazing job you do. I'm sure I envisage already this kind of sessions in, let's say, 4 years. And then you say, well, we not only collect fishing nets, we do with wood, we do with metals, we do with a wide range of products. And I think this is the kind of examples we are very happy to share with the audience and to showcase. And please give them also their support. And we are talking with a lot of companies, and there's a lot of waste which has a value for some people and for companies. And of course, you can make fantastic products out of them. So thank you very much for sharing, and thank you for being with us, and a nice kind round of applause, I would say. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
And I think we have another duo presentation upcoming, but I'm not sure our speakers are already here. Yeah? Okay, very good. Well, I would say come to the stage then. Both of you. All right. Another collaboration duo, and this is in the title, Waste to Fashion, Bringing Value to Garment Waste. That's correct, those were the instructions given. We have also a 25 minutes plus some questions Q&A session. Amorpol, he's CEO of Moreloop, and Phatchet, the Circular Economy Business Assistant Manager of SCG. And SCG, I guess we also know everyone. If I may ask you to come on stage, please. And a round of applause again, ladies and gentlemen. And you can both choose either left or right. That I really leave up to you. Okay, please make yourself comfortable, and I'll pass you the microphone. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. All right. Good afternoon. A cold one, I guess. A bit drizzly, and very honored to be here.
Yes.
Along with SCG. Actually, we would not do the...
Which place?
Okay, yeah, okay, all right. We will not risk introducing each other, all right? Because this is actually the first time I'm working with Kun Mint. And this is a kind of like the, because, SCG, of course, you guys have like 50,000 employees. So, yeah, we cannot find a person that Moreloop have worked with. So let me start with the introduction of ourselves. My name is Amorpol. I'm the co-founder and CEO of Moreloop. I quit my job during my midlife crisis about 3 years ago. I'm an ex-underwriter, country manager of a company called Artradius. It's a Dutch company, actually, and I want to do something meaningful, and that something meaningful becomes Moreloop. And today, you hear about Moreloop, you hear about the circular vision that we both have, and also how a company like Moreloop with 5 people have collaborated with SCG, who is 10,000 times bigger than us. So that will be the gist of what we will present today. So now let me hand over to Khun Min to introduce himself. Yeah, thank you.
My name is Phatchet, Vittayanulak, you can call me Min. I work, actually I'm starting from IT background, but from day to day, and now I'm in the circular economy business. If you guys already know, SCG is a Siam cement company which are mainly manufacturing cement for building material, and also chemicals, resins, and also with packaging like paper and food packaging. As Khun Amorpol said, that we are about 50,000 people in this corporate. So we have the vision to work on circular economy because it is, let's say, we producing and we using the resource from the land, and the circular economy is to bring it back and pay back to the country, pay back to the land. Okay,
you can start the slide, I guess.
Okay.
Okay. No, you go. There you
okay.
go.
In SCG, we have the circular economy. It's called like a theme on the project we are working on right now. And as we can see right now, we are right now working with the resources, using resources from one globe, right? But if we continue doing this as usual and working on this, we would have to use about 4 times resources from the world. That is very sad.
Worrying, yeah,
yeah.
Sure.
We didn't derive the world from our ancestor, but we borrow from our children. So what is the circular economy? I believe you guys already know, but let me recap a little bit. The circular economy, we usually be the linear economy, right? Okay. We make, use, and dispose, and that's it. But the circular, we want to make it circle. So recycle, use, make, and in the loop, right? As Qualy already said that this one. So in here, in the project of circular economy, we have the digital solution for waste bank management. You guys already know the bank. You guys have bank account, right? The bank account, you deposit the money, and you get the interest, and you get the money back when you want it. But waste bank, it's mean like you deposit the waste, and you get returned back in cash. So this project is for the people like us. We have the waste, like a plastic bag, plastic bottle, paper, cardboard, and then we deposit to the waste bank, and the waste bank use the digital solution to manage the number of waste, volume, and the points, the rewards for the members, for the people like us. And then the waste bank transfer this and sell the waste to the recycler or the junk shop. So currently, right now, we have like more than 100 waste bank all around Thailand, and total of the waste in our system is about 1,300 tons, and that's about 96,000 transactions in this system. with a member of about 7,000 people using this system. This is to encouraging and helping people to carry the world by deposit the base back to the bank and then get the money back.
So this is like
As an incentive.
1.3 million kilos already that you have collected.
Yes.
Wow, that's amazing.
So yeah, for my part, that's it. Maybe trans to
Okay.
you.
So I guess now you have learned about how SCG have the circular vision and how he have used the digital platform to actually scale a simple idea, right? And we deliberately have this example for you today because Moreloop is also a digital company. Would you believe it? Okay, so let me stand for this, right? So this is Moreloop. We want to make circular economy a reality. And by reality, we mean doable, profitable, and scalable. Okay? And let's see how we do that. First, let's go to the problem side on what Moreloop is dealing with. You know about the linear economy. This is a fashion linear value chain. Okay, let me take a few moments to talk to you about it. It's quite a complicated diagram, but you can see that the circularity of the fashion world is only the 1% there. Okay, we are producing 50 billion pieces in 2000. Okay, now we're producing 150 billion pieces of clothing each year. Okay, and that's a lot. Okay, and 70% of that goes to landfill. Okay, and 90 or nearly 63% of the whole clothing value chain actually comes from plastic. So it's no different than the plastic that we are thinking about in terms of the bottles. Our clothing, everything that we are wearing is 63% plastic, expecting to be 80 by 2050. So that's a lot, okay? And where Moreloop fits in here is the 12% of the production loss within the factories. And you might think that all the garment factories, they all have their waste that comes from the small bits, right, after the cutting. But actually, there is another hidden secret inside. Here it is. This is a very small corner of one factory. This is the dead stock that is over-ordered due to the MOQ, due to the tolerance, maybe 3 to 5%, and it's been accumulating up everywhere in the world. And in Thailand, we estimated that it can make 700 million t-shirts a year. So this is a very attractive idea for a startup, right? Because we always think about a pain point that is scalable. And this is what we are doing, okay? And this is what Moreloop does, is to digitize all of this information to here. This is what Moreloop looks like. We are basically an online marketplace where the seller can enlist and consign their overstock fabrics inside the digital platform. Because when you see the clothing, when you touch the cloth, right, you feel like, okay, this is soft, great. But you might not know that what it's made from, okay? You might not know that it's made from bamboo, or you might not know it's 100% polyester, or you might not know that it has a 100% UV protection. And the value, the real value of the fabric is within the data. And this is what we've been collecting. So we have all the, we have all the data to say what exactly they are so that it can be upcycled to its full potential. And we have been collecting all of these fabrics, right? And would you believe it, within 2 years, we have nearly 800,000 yards worth of fabric on our platform already, okay? Over 3,000 different types of fabrics that we can use. So our first business model is actually to sell this fabric to the designers, that they can buy it and to upcycle them, because these are actually perfect MOQ for a small business and the Instagram brand in Thailand, okay? And the second thing that we do once we have all of these inventory is that we make a B2B product, collaborating with SCG, right? He's wearing one right now, actually. Yes, this one is from SCG. So we have done that, yeah, so you can see. And not only that we can make into bags, polo shirts. We also have done the exhibition with the Bangkok Design Week, where we have used the very light fabric. This is a zero waste booth. The fabric have to be able to fly. Okay, so the gram per square meter of this fabric is very, very light. Okay, and not only because when they first talked to me about, okay, we want to make a roof from your fabric, I thought, okay, I'll just do something, you know, have a raw fabric over some kind of booth, right? But they did it in the small tiles and make it very colorful. The tile all looks nice, but it has a purpose. Actually, there is a rope embedded within, and then you can just draw it and it becomes a bag. So no waste left behind for this booth. And recently, we have done a big event with the TSX, Thailand Sustainable Expo, that was just passed. They have used 17 different colors based on SDG. And it's all like triangle, and then making into the modularity. And I don't have enough slide for today, but I can show you that it actually looks really great. Okay, so we have upcycle all of this into make it into new life, right? And these are some of our customers, listed companies, international organizations. We just work with the EU and the Embassy of Poland as well. Also, ReReef, who's here, also is one of our customer. So, you know, the small brand, the environmental advocates, everyone actually can come and use Moreloop to see a good product, upcycle, and also sustainability, okay? We also make it into the B2C, right? That's another of our channel. Of course, we are a company of 2 people before that, but now we are kind of bigger, you know, like 5 people. So we were just focusing on the B2B part before. But now so we have done like the first Moreloop collection, like 50 pieces, the second and third one about 70 pieces. But during COVID time, the B2B side drops a lot, okay? About 90%. And so we have to focus on the B2C side. So we made this social distancing t-shirt along with the mask. These are all upcycle fabrics, okay? And the reason, I was just gonna sell some shirts before, like a quarantine, you know, the clever thing about quarantine, okay? So it has to be like a comfortable shirt. But at the same time, the factory, my co-founder owns a garment factory, and she was making a lot of PPE dresses, and those PPE have a lot of waste as well. So we pick it up and make it into the mask. So this is medical grade, 50 times washable, water repellent, and also can filter up to 0.3 microns of particles, okay? And behind here is a very special fabric that we have never sold on our platform because it's so expensive. Normally, the cotton fabric goes by 180 a kilo. This one is 800. So I call it the Wagyu of fabric. It's so comfortable that everyone always come back and buy our mask, okay? And I have 1 or 2 inside my bag. So if you participate today, you see what I mean by Wagyu fabric, okay? And also this we also have this necklace to go as well. It comes from the leftover from the pants ropes, okay? So we have some of those. So we survived COVID when we switched to B2C, okay? So when we focus on SCG, okay, this is what we have done together. We have done like 9, 10 collections together, including the mask, the bag, and SCG is so kind because the company of this size don't have to use Moreloop at all. But they were so kind. that they were able to switch their red color here, not to match the CI of the company, not to match the identity of the company actually. And the content of this particular bag went really, really, really well, okay, because of the collaboration and the understanding that we make this together to make the circular goes around, okay. At the same time, not only the products that they have been our customer, they also put me on stage and also on many digital contents that that we work together. So you can see that if you can take off your jacket, you can see that they allow us to upcycle. We have a choice of making, I think 100 of the same color or 200 of different color arms because we don't have enough fabric, and they were kind enough to do that, and it makes a lovely photo, okay. So far with SCG, we have upcycled over 959 kilos worth of fabric, okay. And because Moreloop is not using any virgin material, we can calculate back what we have prevented in terms of the CO2. So together we have done about 14 tons of carbon dioxide reduction, which is an equivalent to a driving distance of 120,000 kilometers, so about 4 times around the world. Okay, so this is for SCG. And when we talk about numbers, let me show you the Moreloop result. So in 2018, where we just started, we have upcycled about 500 kilos worth. And we have jumped to 10,000 because we have found a new business model that works for us with the size of the startup that we were. So we were able to also attract the supply side where the demand side comes. Right? And so far this year, this is cumulative, by the way. So far this year, we have upcycled already 9 tons worth of fabric, and hopefully, cumulatively, we want to finish about 20, maybe 21, hopefully with a small growth despite the slowdown from COVID-19. And it would be that we would be preventing 300,000 kilograms worth of carbon dioxide, which is equal to about a driving distance of about 3 million kilometers. Yes, so that's about 75 times around the world. So for a company of like 5 people, I think we have done okay. And let's talk about now how we kind of, the lesson learned with the SCG. In terms of the collaboration, what I've learned is that the first thing that we have, is SCG was the first company that really put us on the map. So we are ever grateful for the belief. But we also believe that because of the circular economy vision that we shared, so that's why they choose us to try out to one of their campaign. Okay. The second thing is that we must have a clear expectation with each other, which each of the upcycle deals that we do, there is a lot of communication back and forth. It's like kind of like an IKEA effect in a way, because normally company would just order something and they would just say, okay, I want this in this color, and that's it. But in this, we have to collaborate together and be flexible. But with that, we must have the clear expectation with each other. So we have learned to be very clear and communicate what information we need to how to make an upcycle collaboration happen. Okay, and the third thing is the mutual respect between the working individuals, that we talk to each other very nice and politely, because there will be a lot of communication back and forth, because the imagination of the customer has to always be flexible with when you're working with limited resources. Okay, one of the key things is for human to work with each other. And yeah, I would say that's nearly the end, but we have one more thing. Because this is the first time actually I work with Kun Min, and it so happens that they need some polo shirts in their team, so we have used this in practice. Okay, So this is a sample of what's to come with the team of Kumka X Moreloop. So you can see that the clear communication that we must have is like the amount that they want, the color, the fabric that they need.
Everything but the budget.
But yeah. But the budget is XXX, but it's as high as possible. Is would be help us a lot, and they would have some requirements of the purpose of what they want to do, so we can recommend the right fabric and the right color and the right performance that the team would have. Okay, so yeah, hopefully next time you see you wearing our polo shirt.
Yeah, after we got it. Actually, the T-shirt could be, the polo shirt could be any shirt, right? But we pick only from Moreloop because we are assured that all the fabric will be from upcycling. It's not from the new fabric.
Yeah,
we don't need to. It has to be new because the application itself and the project we are doing is circular economy. We want to make sure that everything that we show to the people and display, it show our really intention that we want to upcycling it, want to do the circular economy and make it realistic.
Great.
This one is practical
and it's doable. So in conclusion, start with the same vision, do something that is practical and able to do, and this kind of upcycle deals is all very human driven, so be nice to each other when you want to collaborate. Okay, so that's about it from us, so thank you very much, and we'll take your question. Thank you. Don't forget that we have the mask to give away if you ask something.
Yeah, you had in your presentation a point what looked very interesting, that there are a lot of old fabrics are used to refill land. So, but there will be a big part of plastic in these old fabrics, so there will be never ever be a recycling. And so, you have any idea about this?
Actually, I think there is already a lot of initiative from bigger brands to do the collection within their store, and I think the recycling technology in terms of the pure, like 100% polyester is workable. So we have the rPET, either it comes from the fabric itself to become a yarn again, or it comes from the bottles. Yeah, these are working, but it's in a very, very small percentage, 1%. So it's working. To answer your question, yes, it's working at 1%. And so we would like to scale this. I mean, there's a lot of challenges, like the oil price, and making virgin is much more economical in terms of the functionality and probably the price. So I try to, with Moreloop, I try to prevent it from getting into landfill. Because actually, normally the pain point of all of these factories is that all the leftover fabrics are bought at a waste price without any information. So you would have a big truck, okay, coming in to see this pile of fabric, and the owner knows it's worth 1 million Thai baht, let's say, and he would just come in and say, okay, I give you 100,000, take it or leave it. And this is the current market that is happening. Okay? And they would put it in the flea market, and someone would just go in there and try to find something. So it's kind of like not very efficient way, and we saw this pain and try to want to tackle it, and I think we have done well so far. Yeah, but in terms of recycling, it's a far-fetched game according to the data. Yes, you're welcome. Anyone would like to make some products with us? I'm just asking.
Any more questions? Any more concerns? Any more ideas to share?
Okay, if you have no question, let me show you some stuff that I have here. I'm allowed, right? Okay, great. Okay, so this is my bag of tricks. Okay, I have this here. I have this here. I have, you can think of any other question now. Okay, this is the first product that we did together with SCG. This is actually put us on the map. And you can see that this white, actually they asked us just for, I have this event, can you do it for 1,500 pieces? And we said, no, because we don't have enough of this color, okay? So what we did, we asked them, okay, so how is your event planned out? They said, okay, we're gonna do it 3 times over the course of 3 times. So we said, why don't we do it 500 for each of the color? And they wanted to use the cotton fabric because it's more, you know, environmentally friendly. We said, why don't you use polyester because you'll be out in the sun. So it's quick, drying quick, much quicker. Okay. And this white arm is also because we don't have enough of the fabric. There's no original no original design by any chance. Okay, so this is one of our first work together. And the other things that I have is, yeah, we have been working with the EU, and now we have some of the, you know, Poland embassy mask that we did, and a very soft t-shirt that you can come and touch. Actually, this one is going for sale on Moreloop B2C quite soon. Okay. Yeah, sure. Thank you. Yeah, so this is a modal cotton. It's a recent find that we have bought into our stock. And actually, we have another one that is made especially in the COVID period. Okay.
I think there is a question from Kuntos.
Sure.
Let you finish, but
I use this on the way here. I use this on the way here. Just wanted to show you that how far a fabric can go.
Yes, I have several questions.
Sure.
Actually, I've heard of Moreloop before. We were in the ITP.
Yes, right.
Last time. And it's a very interesting business model, and I like it how you do everything there, because we also do that kind of thing. So,
sure.
Okay, my first question is, how do you actually communicate to your customers to know, like, you know, like whatever you just talked about in short, and then they understand everything in one page when they see your B2C product? That's my first question.
Okay.
And then the second question is, what's your MOQ if we want to do something together? What is your MOQ, and do we have a lot to choose, like a lot of different
Sure.
materials and different things that made of your fabric?
Sure, sure. Okay, I like the second question, so let me answer that first. We can do 50 pieces at minimum. Sometimes we can go a little bit lower, so but you know the price would be slightly different, and depends on how the complex the product is. Okay, but we can do as small as 50 and slightly lower, but not like 5. If 5, then we recommend our retail choice. Okay. And the first question actually is a great question because it's such a difficult value proposition to try to communicate. It's something that is difficult to explain. So we take a lot of time to actually tell everyone what we do and how the impact is, because our value proposition can be a sustainable business, a startup, an SE. But my tagline is an online marketplace for surplus fabrics. So actually that is our way to communicate. And the other, in terms of the impact that we communicate, we always have this carbon tag that tells the customer, this t-shirt can save your carbon footprint by so and so. So to spark curiosity, and everyone would ask more questions. And the effect of the learning of the impact actually is the one that help us scale, because it will be the first thing that they want to talk to their friends about. That, hey, I have learned something about the fabric today, and I hope all of you today that just learn about Moreloop and all, i.e. about fashion, will talk to your friends about it.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Another question? I have one question. Excuse me if you already said, but you're selling to companies, you're selling
Yes.
for events, and I even say that next year we can have a sponsor to finance a t-shirt for the next forum of 2021.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
It will be an opportunity for next year. And anyway, you're selling also to consumer, you said to retail. So we are here, I guess, all fans of what you're doing. So what to buy, your t-shirt?
Well, you can come and talk to me. Actually, I have some sample of our latest t-shirts. I mean, the thing is about our B2C products that we don't sell it so aggressively because we are a startup. We haven't really, we have to focus on something. So we were really focusing on the B2B side. But when COVID comes, we have more expertise to be the B2C side. So everything is online, and you can follow us on Facebook page. And then we always upload whatever we have. And then today, if you want to buy something from me, I have actually a sales session a little bit later on after this official session is finished. So you can come and see some of the samples that we have.
Anyway, online is the best way to distribute product now with COVID, so you take the right way. Okay, so except there is another question. You can perhaps close this very interesting duo presentations. I'm very happy as an organizer to have a startup with very specialized from the very beginning on circular economy on the famous Thai company who is already doing good in sustainability, but now going seriously in circular economy and working both of you together is just a great example. So for me as organizer, it's just a wonderful moment we have been living together. So can we thank our two speakers?
Thank you very much.
So I encourage all of you to go to the plenary session where we have a CEO panel. Will be a mix of foreign and local CEOs who are exchanging about how to make sustainability core of the strategy of a company.
Okay.
So see you there.
Thank you very much.